Dangerous City on. Now's your chance. Arsenal City.
Hey everyone, it's Jack here. I hope you're all well. I just wanted to do a quick intro. I always do these on iTunes and SoundCloud. If you haven't already, go over there and subscribe to us if you like to listen to podcasts on the go. Links in the description, or just simply type in the TNC podcast on wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm incredibly tired. My voice is done in. You can tell it was Derby Day yesterday. I'm on a bit of an East Anglian Derby come down at the moment. Talking about Derby Day, a decade of dominance. We had to mark that with something, didn't we? We've released a poster, and you guys, you podcast listeners, can get yourself a treat. We're giving 10% off to podcast listeners. Simply enter podcast10 at checkout to get 10% off your posters. If you're listening to this, head over to my Twitter or somewhere, or talknorwichcity.bigcartel.com and have a look. If the video, you've just seen this. They're unbelievable. I really love the design. Get yourself a little Derby Day dominance poster to remember the fantastic 12 games unbeaten we've gone so far against Ipswich. Thank you very much. All of the proceeds helps run Talk Norwich City, and also allows us to give money to charity as well. We've given hundreds of pounds of money to charity this year. £100 went to Nelson Journey at the weekend. Look, if you keep supporting the channel, we'll keep trying to do good things with the money that we make. Today's guest is Galton Blackiston, Norwich City fan for well over 50 years. Good mates with a lot of the people at the football club. Just gets it, basically. Just gets it. And owner of Morston Hall Hotel and Restaurant as well. One of only 2 Michelin-star restaurants in the whole of Norfolk. This man is one of the country's finest chefs. And I'm not saying that lightly. This guy is unbelievable. I've known Galton for just over a year. I've dined at Morston Hall. It is an unbelievable experience. Some of the best food you'll ever eat. I love Galton. I'm delighted to get him onto the podcast. I hope you enjoy this as much as I did filming it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for the support on the podcasts, and enjoy this episode. I'll see you soon. Hello and welcome back to episode number 77 of the Talk Norwich City podcast. Norwich City have completed a decade of Derby Day dominance. And to talk us through it all is Michelin star restaurant owner Mr. Galton Blackiston. How are you, my friend?
You got my name right.
Yeah, of course I did.
Unbelievable. Nice to see you.
How's it normally pronounced then?
Well, you can imagine I've had them all. I'm the youngest of 5 boys. I've had Andrew, Nigel, Miles, Jamie. I got frickin' Galton. So where does that come from?
Love it.
But yeah, not many people get both my first name and my surname correct, and you did.
There we go. There, so, I've completed it. As we know, Chris, all of our guests usually like to bring gifts along. Gary Carza brought us 60 pairs of white socks. Yeah. Ross Martin never brought us anything. Wow. Now, talk us through this, Galton, because this could be one of the best we've ever received.
Well, to be fair, as sort of after yesterday's game, which was extraordinary, we do a champagne, which my wife and I went over to France and tasted various champagnes and all that sort of thing, and asked them would we be able to put our name to one. And I'm really proud of this because it's good. It's not, nasty stuff, but it's really good. And potentially, if we get promotion, I'm going to say because I'm always pessimistic. I'm a Norwich supporter.
When? Come on, you're on the TNC podcast now. Come here.
I'd love to be more optimistic, but hey, where we've come from to what we're doing now is just extraordinary. So if we get promotion, we'll have a celebration. Definitely. You can ask me back or whatever.
Galton, what did you say off camera to me? You said you'd have all of the players over at Morston Hall for a big party, right?
Well, if you can wing that one past my wife, you're better than me, but hey.
I think the first time we properly met Galton, you probably can't remember. I can vaguely remember the night. Was it Jake's 40th birthday?
Oh, yes.
We were all rather intoxicated that night. I don't think there was any Morston Hall champagne flowing that night.
Sadly, wouldn't have been able to afford that.
Bless him. We might be able to flog this for a pretty penny now, Chrissy. We don't go up and it doesn't pop. We spoke then. I came over to Morston for a meal just after Christmas, and we discussed the way things were going at Norwich at that point.
Yeah.
We're now in February. We're top of the table. We've just beaten Ipswich. Can you believe what's going on at the moment?
It doesn't get much better, does it? It really doesn't. I mean, I've said this to a few people now, but if we were to get promotion...
When?
All right, when. I reckon, since I've been watching Norwich, and that's 50 years now, that would be the finest achievement out of any manager who's managed Norwich and managed to get promotion.
Really?
I definitely think so. Come at the beginning of the season, with the squad of players that you looked on paper, did you see promotion there?
No.
It's incredible, and the football they're playing is unbelievable. And the team spirit, there's no one star, there's a bunch of players there who are working for each other, and it's just unbelievable.
You speak there about the 50 years you've been supporting Norwich City. Let's talk about that, because where did it all start for you in Norwich City? And let's go down the line of the key moments and where you are now supporting.
Yeah, I remember my first ever game. It was 5-1 against Oxford United. In the days Kenny Foggo scored.
Lovely.
So that's that's in the 70s. And yeah, obviously my parents were season ticket holders, always have been. They used to be in what's called the South Stand, which is now, what is the one opposite? The Gerald's. Yeah, it is a Gerald stand. No, it's not.
It was the Gerald, then it was a coffee stand.
Yeah, that's right.
And now
coffee beans.
I think it's the South Stand now.
Yeah, it is. It was the South Stand, and that's where we used to. And I used to have a little thing to stand on to, when the crowds were all standing and all that. So I was there at the game when it got fogged off, a semi-final. I can't remember. I think it was Bristol City or something. But the game got fogged off.
Fogged off?
Yes, because we were winning, and it was 2 legs in the semi-final of a League Cup, and Norwich were winning. And suddenly the fog came over from the river or whatever.
Fog?
And honestly, I am talking the truth. Somebody will remember this and back me up on it. And the game got fogged up. I might have got Bristol City wrong, or I might have got it right, or it might have been Chelsea, one of the two.
I said you're still bitter about that night.
Well, we did win the replayed game. So, and I went to Wembley then. I've been to all of Norwich's Wembley finals, I think.
Wow.
Apart from, I have.
That's
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Now let's move to the modern day. Whereabouts do you sit in the ground?
I sit in the centre bit on the... it's the director's bit, really. So I'm not a director.
No, you're not a director. So you're next to Norwich's other less well-known chef.
Bless her.
How was she reacting?
Bless her.
The game
she's brilliant.
She gave us a wave, didn't she, on Sunday?
Delia, I have to say, she is amazing, actually. Her and Michael, what they've done with it. They came to Morston, and they were at Morston when she told me they'd bought Jeffrey Watling shares.
Right.
And I thought, oh, frickin' hell, Delia, what are you doing that for? What on earth are you doing that for? Well,
could have lent her a few quid.
As it was, it's been such a passion for those two. And Tom, she's sort of handing it down to Tom's. And it's incredible. It's incredible what they've achieved, And she's had. I've been there, which I'm sure you guys have seen as well. And it's been really dire. The time when we went down to Division 1. Oh crikey, it was awful. I was there in that little bit when Nigel Worthington got sacked, and Nigel got on really. That's right. Nigel got on really well, Delia and Michael. And what a horrible thing to have to do.
I mean, you probably know Delia better than most. What's going through her head when, as you say, that it has got really tough at times, and there's been calls for her to sell up, and I'm sure that argument will come up again in the future. Does it really go to her heart? Does she take it?
100% would do. You can't. You've got to be. You can't. It can't not. In my opinion, yeah. I don't actually see Delia as much as I used to now. I don't know why. I see her obviously at the games and speak to Michael at the games and that sort of thing. I think I actually got a bit too close at one stage when Nigel Worthington was manager. I was very friendly with Nigel and Sandra, and it got too close. And then I sort of used to stay behind after the games and all that sort of thing. Actually, I prefer doing what I do now. I go to the football, I shout and scream if I want to.
And bugger off.
And then I bugger off. Yeah, exactly.
So did you almost lose that sense of being a fan? Did you?
Well, almost. It became a bit too important. I love what I love. I'm so passionate about Norwich, and Delia probably thinks that I'm sometimes quite down on them, but I'm a supporter.
You are a proper Norfolk boy.
I'm not ever meaning to be negative about it.
You just
but
care.
I tell you what, after the first 4 games of this season, there weren't many people being positive either.
True, very true.
And the turnaround has been extraordinary, which probably started at Portman Road.
Indeed, and Chris, the reverse fixture, we've just seen it at Carrow. Norwich City 3, Ipswich Town 0. I mean, we wanted the early goal. We got the early goal. We got everything we wanted.
Yeah, I mean, we said, Jack, that if we score early, we could muller them. I think in the end, give Ipswich credit where credit's due. I thought that they did hang on.
Yeah.
But by hang on, I mean that respectfully. I mean they held their own in midfield. I would compliment Trevor Chalobah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was their main
not
man.
Their player, I may add, but
not their. Is he not their player?
Oh, isn't he?
He's a
Is he off as well?
Yeah.
Oh, is he? Yeah,
is that why he did that nice tweet to try and get them to sign him?
Possibly.
Oh, poor guy. Bless his heart. Anyway, I thought he was impressive. So I'm always going to be honest as a fan. I'm always going to be honest. And if I think Ipswich are crap, I'll say they're crap. But they weren't crap.
No.
They did hold their own. And the Ipswich fans that went, absolute bunch of nutters, going there knowing that you're going to lose the game. But fair play to them. Fair play to them. And it's hard for me to say that because I hate them. But fair play. But look, I thought from start to finish, even though they did provide some sort of threat in midfield, I thought that we controlled the game throughout. I don't know what tree Luke Chambers is barking up. His post-match interview was absurd. And I didn't see much fist pumping after the game, which was enjoyable.
Yeah, you talk about that Luke Chambers interview. He said in it, and I quote verbatim, we put them off their stride. They couldn't get anywhere near us in the end. What do you make of them comments, Galton?
Yeah, same as what you said, Chris. What are you on about? We did control the game. We didn't play the best that we can play. And as you say, Ipswich were half decent without anything in the final third. But their endeavour and their work rate, which was a Lambert thing, was good.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, I don't have a hatred of Paul Lambert. I really don't. I remember how brilliant he was at Norwich. He was brilliant at Norwich.
He's crossed the divide.
Yeah, I know that, but hey, as long as we're up here and they're down there, I don't give a toss about that.
Is he back in the Hall of Fame when he gets them relegated?
Well, that's a great shout, isn't it?
I say we do.
Yeah.
I'm thinking framed pictures in the director's box.
To be honest with you, I just, as long as we're well above them, that's all I really wish for with Ipswich. I mean, it's been such a long time since we've had bad times against Ipswich, so
10 years to be precise.
Exactly. So and I mean, he was a man on a mission yesterday. He was a nutter yesterday, right from the word go. You could tell he was like a caged tiger. He was up and down the side of his dugout area, and you could tell it only needed something for him to kick off.
But Galton, I refer you to his pre-match comments, him saying, I've had half of Glasgow hating me. This will not faze me. You had the perfect view. He was fazed.
He was totally fazed. He was totally fazed. But I can, I didn't see anything that the Norwich coaching staff did. I mean, apparently they went over to his divide. Well, I didn't see that, but
I've inspected it frame by frame. Yeah. I watched the whole thing on Sky backwards, obviously, because we trashed Ipswich again, and I inspected the clash on the sidelines frame by frame, and there is no way. All right, one of the Norwich assistant managers might have said something to Paul Lambert, but Paul and his staff were encroaching on the Norwich technical area.
But Chris, let's not forget,
he was out of his technical area all game, by the way. Why didn't he get called up on that?
The reason this has all begun is because there's a red card challenge on Max Aarons.
Yeah.
And Paul Lambert says in his post-match press conference, I'm not going to have a Norwich player running 30 yards to get my player booked. Yeah. That's completely incorrect. Yeah. I mean this, and I'm not being a prick, to put it bluntly. I don't know why Ipswich fans. No, we're on the TNC podcast.
We're not on James Martin's show
anymore. Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, mind you, I've been known to say a few things on there.
I don't know why the Ipswich fans are falling for this blatant PR marketing stuff. Yeah. He comes out of that Villa game where they were absolutely dominated, saying they played some good football and that they dominated it.
He's a man who's seriously concerned about his job.
Desperate.
And you would be, I suppose. And I just don't. But I still remember how brilliant, when we went to Arsenal under Paul Lambert, when we went to Tottenham away under Paul Lambert.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And I remember that such good football that we used to play under Lambert. Then it went wrong. Come the end of the season and Villa took him. I'm not so sure that. I don't know the ins and outs, obviously. But did he really want to go, or did McNally sort of want him to go? I don't know. I don't know.
It's certainly interesting to see his career path since Culverhouse and Gary Carson have left him. Chris, let's talk about Norwich. This is a Norwich City podcast.
Good coffee.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is
Lovely mug as well, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
If you're watching,
get that in your channel.
Yeah, look.
I'm gonna get Jack in trouble here. If you're watching on YouTube, comment below if you'd like Jack to release some more TNC mugs.
Listen, I've got a mate who you could tap up to get you these.
Well, I'm just thinking when you bring out the chocolates, after your lovely meal, why don't we get some of these mugs out in Morston?
Hang on.
I mean, I'll do you a deal for 100. Well, I'll give you mates rates.
Yeah,
that's a polite bugger off.
Yeah, no, they'd have to be proper china, wouldn't they? Not this. Yeah.
Well, your mate can sort out some china
when we get promotion.
I'm looking forward to this promotion party.
When we get promotion.
Chris.
Yes.
Emi Buendia, Timu Pukki. The quality shone through yesterday.
Pukki, he's definitely the best free transfer in Norwich City history. He's obviously, of course, now the record Finn in the Championship, I believe.
Passing Shefty Kuchi.
Of Ipswich Town, which is even more gorgeous. His finish, both of his finishes actually, but the first was just, he was up against Luke Chambers, so it was pretty easy to score, but there wasn't much time.
No.
It wasn't much time, and to get that sort of angle and score from there. Is he right-footed as well?
Weak of foot.
He's weak of foot. That says it all. But I will criticise Timu Pukki. His celebration is absolutely awful.
How do you want him to celebrate?
Surely he needs to.
He should have gone to the way.
He needs to do that 100%. Well, I won't tell you which Norwich player DM'd me before saying they were going to do that, but there you go. We'll leave that. Look, I'm ridiculously impressed. I think Emi Buendia again. I mean, obviously, the Ipswich players had to kick the shit out of him, didn't they? Yeah. That was their only option.
Yeah.
And but it won't be just Ipswich. Let's take Ipswich out of this now. Every single team he comes up against, he'll just be targeted.
Yeah.
But poor old Mario Vrancic, by the way, he was just bullied the whole time, wasn't he? Head injury,
very
should have been a penalty.
To go into for our
absolutely. But it just shows how far he's come. And if he does have to sit out the next game, along comes Moritz Leitner, of course. It's not a bad person to bring him back into the fold, is it?
Yeah. Galton, what have you made of the defence? Because it seems to have really solidified in the past few weeks. And you look at it, Max Aaron's academy, Jamal Lewis Academy, Ben Godfrey, we signed from York as an apprentice, Christoph Zimmerman, £500,000. That's a cheaply assembled young defence that's doing unbelievable things.
It is. I think those two boys, fullbacks, are fantastic. I can't build them up enough. They've been magnificent. Both of them yesterday had great games as well.
Are they the best you've seen at Norwich?
Well, you see, I remember Culverhouse and Bowen. They were pretty good. They were pretty good. Potentially, without a shadow of doubt. Potentially. You know, we're going to have one full season of them, aren't we? Really, and
hopefully more.
Yeah, hopefully more. But one full season of seeing young Max Aarons and that boy.
It's incredible, isn't it?
And actually, Ben Godfrey, I'm not convinced he's a centre half.
If he's not, then
I'm sold.
Bloody hell.
I just think we've got one hell of a player on our hands there as well. One hell of a player.
What a unit as well.
And he's fast. He's got everything that the modern footballer needs to have about him. He's brave, he's fast, and a unit, as you say. He puts himself there.
Isn't he?
So, you know, and it's not surprising. I think it was in today's EDP. There was something about some of the top clubs are looking at him. Doesn't surprise me. But they've got to balance themselves and think that if they're going, ultimately they want to have that big move, potentially, but they're playing football.
Indeed. Chris, I think we keep forgetting here as well that Christoph Zimmerman just 2 years ago was playing in the 4th tier of German football.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable yesterday, wasn't he?
I think he's had an unbelievable season, full stop. I think that I can only remember one cock-up. Apart from that, he's been absolutely outstanding. Arguably in with a shout for Player of the Season. But then how do you pick Player of the Season, by the way?
I know.
I mean, I think surely Marco Stiepen's got to be up there with a shout. I mean, obviously Max Aarons is going to be up there. There's so many players. Pukki, you know, there's 1,000,001 players you could pick now. And I think it is genuinely so exciting
massive team
to watch.
Effort. That's what it's
a team, isn't it?
It's a massive team effort. There's no one star in that team, really. It's all of them can have brilliant games at any given time.
If you could have one, at Morston tomorrow?
One of the current playing teams?
Who would you have and why?
Who would I have at the moment? I'd have young Max Aarons.
Would you?
Yeah.
What would you serve him?
I would serve him something very simple because he's only 18. His taste buds wouldn't have developed. Bless him. Bless him. He'd probably want a steak and chips or something like that. So I wouldn't blind him with science or anything like that. But I'd probably cook his steak for him well done. I'm joking.
And serve him some of your finest bubbly as well.
But to be fair, any of that team, I'm so in awe of them because they're just pulling up trees.
Agreed.
I just want to quickly finish on Paul Lambert's comments, Chris. The fact that City fans have short memories considering when he took over, we were in League One. What did you make of that?
Childish. Pathetic.
Moronic. You had the same opinion as well.
This is classic.
Okay.
He thinks this, but then he gets me in trouble.
He loads
with everyone.
the gun.
Exactly. Yeah. And I fire it because I'm a fan. He's got his journal head on. I can fire it. And I think that he was a bullied, defeated, humiliated man. And it was true, isn't it, Galton? Let's be real.
He was. After yesterday, he was. But
so you would say that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would do.
Because you'd want to fight back.
You would do. You would do, without a doubt.
But
he's not going to afford to eat a Morston anytime soon, so don't worry about that.
You see, I do still remember him, and in great. And I was really sad that he went to bloody Villa.
We all were.
And now, we all sort of had a good feeling that we were going to beat Ipswich yesterday. And regardless, of Paul Lambert being manager or whatever, but I'd let him walk away and let him try and keep. Oh, he ain't going to keep him up. But we're so far above them, so far away from them, they aren't going to need to bother us anymore. So.
I think it's actually, I think it's a shame. And if I was to hit back at Paul Lambert, I would say
you've certainly done that.
You have a short memory, mate. One, because you've forgotten about how to manage a football team properly.
Yeah.
And two, he's lost everything since he's been in Norwich. He's lost it all. Yeah. He kept Villa in the Premier League. But he had Benteke playing up front for him, which isn't exactly challenging. Benteke in the peak of his career, and he's got a short memory. The lack of respect to go to Ipswich Town Football Club when you have been at Norwich City. He doesn't need the money that bad. Just wait a year. Go and sit on the beach.
Yeah.
Go and buy a property in Tenerife and just have a break, and then go and manage Bristol City when they sack their manager for the 6th time. Why would you go and cross the divide to Ipswich Town Football Club? I'll tell you why. Because he's full of himself. I respect what he's done for Norwich City, and he has by far been the most successful manager, and I respect that. But actually, he has got a short memory for doing that, and quite frankly, for a lot of Norwich City fans watching this now, they'll be done with it, Galton. There's people like us that have respect, but there's a lot of Norwich fans that are like, no, game over. You've ruined it, Sonny Jim.
Listen, I can see that side of it as well. I can definitely see that side of it. But as I say, we've won.
Yeah,
and we're so far apart from them that. And he is in last chance saloon, really.
It's laughable.
This is really his last big hurrah, I think. When they go down, mind you, I wouldn't be surprised if he brings them back up.
Oh, come on.
I don't want to talk about them anymore.
Yeah, come on.
Let's get back to Norwich City. Galton, the most important thing out of all of this now, Norwich City return to the top of the table with 5 points clear of 3rd. We've got 15 games to go. How would you rate our chances in terms of now going on to win the league?
Going on to win the league? Well, I suppose
surely with the favourites
bookies will make us favourites, well, as I keep saying, I'd still have to pinch myself. And that if we were to finish up in the top 2, what an achievement. What an achievement that is. And I look today at the programme and sort of, it's only that many league games to go now. How many is there? About
well,
10,
at the end of this week, there'll be 13 to go. 15 at the moment.
And it's, we're 2/3 of the way through it. And we're top of the league.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It's just incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm cautiously optimistic. I've spent all my life supporting Norwich, being cautiously optimistic.
What would make you just optimistic and not verging on? Why you still got that little caution?
I worry about teams trying to kick us off the park.
That's happened before.
Massively so. Yeah, it has happened. And I worry that our squad suddenly, say if you take some of our players out of some of our important players out, well, they're all important, then it wouldn't take a lot to leave us completely depleted. And that worries me, because that would worry me.
My argument there, though, Galton, we've lost Tim Close at parts of the season. We've lost Teemu Pukki at parts of the season. Morris Lyon has been out for 2 months. And we've still had players step in.
That's true. That is true. So it's just a part of being a supporter like myself that I don't want to be that. I'm a betting person, but I would never sort of do that sort of. I mean, I had a bet yesterday and I got it up on the 3-0.
What did it return?
10-1.
Nice.
Which was a bit disappointing, but
how much did you put on?
Well, I can't tell you that. But
that's why I brought the champagne over.
Yeah, I was going to say cheers.
We are in a. You couldn't be in a better position. You could not be in a better position than that. I remember one time when we got promoted, when Alex Neil came in 2/3 of the way through the season, and we were sort of mid-table mediocrity up until then. But then suddenly we went on this run which got to the playoffs and all that sort of thing, which was extraordinary again. And I went and said on one of the live TV programmes, which I'm always a little bit, you never know what you're going to get with me on live TV. A bit like this, really. And I said, well, there's no chance Norwich getting promotion. We've got absolutely no chance. If we do get promoted, I'll have a tattoo of Norwich. And what did we go into?
So where's the tattoo then?
Well, I can't show you that because it's,
You actually do have a tattoo?
Well, of course one had to have it done. But that was typical of me sort of coming out with something like, well, we haven't got a chance. I wouldn't have a similar bet now because I think we've got a massive chance. I just hope we fulfill it.
Okay, let's have a deal here. If we don't get promoted, will you get a tattoo then?
Well, no. I'm not going to do it again.
I want to know what this tattoo is.
That's a little canary like that.
Okay. Whereabouts?
On my bottom.
Amazing.
And that's the title sorted.
Chris, we spoke before Leeds, I think. Was it before Leeds? Or about 3 games ago, and we said...
Yeah, pre-Sheffield United.
Pre-Sheffield United, and we said if Norwich City is still in the top 2, post-Ipswich, we will be good.
Yeah.
We're top.
Yeah.
We're not second, we're top. Surely we go on to win the league now.
I like Galton's style. I am still cautious. I'm still trying to manage my expectations, but I now think after that statement, Sheffield United, Leeds away, and then the scum at home. Those you got to get used to me slagging off Ipswich, Galton, for God's sake.
Look, I did call them that yesterday. I must admit,
yeah, good.
Well, when you're going up and going down,
What a charm! Brilliant. We need to talk about that in a minute. I think it's our league to lose.
Yeah,
it's our league to lose. It's not just because we're at the top. We've got some very winnable games coming up, and I think that now, if we can look, going away to Preston is tough, but. I mean, for me, we should be beating the likes of Bolton at home convincingly. And I know it sounds arrogant, but I just think now we need to be focusing on, trying to muller teams and play them off the park in the first half, and then bring some players off. And try and rest them, because as Galton says, they're going to kick the hell out of us every game.
Yeah, that was a bit of a worry for me yesterday, actually, because I didn't think there were 2 incidents where I thought the referee should have taken much tighter control, and he could have sent Nolan off for Ipswich. And the one in the second half, I don't know who it was. Judge,
Downs,
I think. Yeah. Both of those, they were bad tackles. Mind you, having said that, if Teti had connected...
My God, I'm so pleased you brought that up, because I'm exactly the same.
If he didn't connect, thankfully.
Oh, but I know people know that I've got an agenda with Tom Tribal starting, but... That was completely...
No, he loves him.
We know he's got to start.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I love him. I mean, I would rather him than Tete. Or Tete, as Nick Conrad calls him, as he would, because it's Nick Conrad. That challenge, if he'd got a single clip off,
he would have been.
And then the game completely changes.
Yeah.
So for me...
I think you've got a great point there, because I actually think the 2 games against Leeds and against Ipswich, Tribal has been massive. Absolutely massive.
The man.
Yeah, he's now back, fully fit and really rearing to go. And you can a fit Tom Tribal has got to start.
Mario Vrancic limped off against Ipswich. Let's hope that's not serious because it did look like a nasty ankle roll. I assume he's not going to be fit for Preston. So who starts for you? Is it Tete next to Tribal? Morris Lyon is back in training. Would you risk him?
Do you think that? Well, he wasn't even on the bench, was he?
He wasn't. No.
The one who I think's been really unlucky since coming back and being in the squad is Kenny McLean.
That is a brilliant shout.
I like him.
I
like his endeavour. I'd like to have him in there, give him a go. Cool, a feisty Scotsman in there.
Yeah, that tastes good. Against Alex Neil as well.
Yeah.
Served up on a platter.
Yeah,
Could you imagine that? Kenny McLean in the 90th minute.
You see, because Madison rates him really highly, didn't he? When he was up in Aberdeen, James Madison rated Kenny McLean really highly. And he just hasn't had, because of injuries. But now, that's like having a new signing. I agree now. So I'd like to see him potentially start. Good. If it worked in the system of how they play.
Let's get into some Twitter questions now. We've got a lot of questions come in. I don't think Galton quite understood the concept of this. He's answered all of them on Twitter.
the best at all these sort of things.
Maybe this is indicating you've got too much time on your hands, Galton.
Well, it's in the afternoons, when I'm off in the afternoons, I watch all the crap on TV, afternoon television. Actually, I watched it in cricket bit because I'm a massive cricket fan as well. So
now you nearly turned pro in cricket.
Well, when they say that, that's a long time ago. But now, you don't like cricket.
He convinced him to like cricket.
That's a thinking man's game. That's probably why you don't.
Fair play.
Amazing.
Too much time to play cricket. My God.
Now, in the cheap seats. Now I can't pronounce this. Galton, have you got your glasses?
Easiest way to make beurre blanc.
Beurre blanc. Is that a sauce?
It's a butter sauce.
So how do
French
you make,
butter sauce.
So how do you make that then? Okay, so talk us through it.
Really? Is that one being serious, or is it somebody taking the piss out?
No, we are being serious here. We talk about food a lot.
Well, I can't answer that. This is a wind-up.
No, it's not a wind-up.
Look, tell them I'll answer that one privately. Or alternatively, they have to come on a cookery demonstration. And I'll show them that.
Tell them to get fucked.
I am answering that on a football thing.
Okay, so Neil Carey asks, can you cook a toad in the hole properly?
I can cook. Yeah, I know what he's on about there.
Okay. Is this an in-joke?
Yeah, it is. And he's probably on about the fact that I cooked a toad in the hole and I thought it was great. But apparently when it came out on TV, it looked slightly well done. But I thought it was great.
Slightly well done. Tony asks, hello to Chris and Jack and Chef Galton. Do you all now think we'll definitely get promoted? The only way we won't is through a dramatic failure. Now, can you see Norwich falling off a cliff from now until the end of the season?
To be perfectly honest, no.
Okay.
Worst case scenario, we'll definitely be in the top 6, but we're not. We're going to be in the top 2, I think. We're on such a roll.
I mean, this run we've got now has been described by some as easier. Preston, one of the form teams in the Championship. Bolton, yes, we should be beating them. Bristol City, they've got the 6 wins in a row.
Yeah.
This isn't easy, is it?
No.
It's not, but
no.
We're brilliant. We are.
So you're not fearing this run?
No. Why would you? And by the way, the players won't be. The players won't be. They're beating the best team in the league.
Yeah.
We've beaten the best team in the league. Now, I know that complacency can come in now, and I know that there will be trip-ups along the way, but you can't be going into a game against Bristol City scared.
No.
Come on.
I actually fancy us more away from home than I do at home at times.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I really do.
Why's that?
Because our game is suited on teams coming at us, like they do at home, like Leeds try to at home. And then we just pick them off at real pace. We've got people
against Ipswich, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did. When they came out in the second half, then all right, we scored our 2 goals from the 2 main chances, but there were other situations where if Stiepermann or somebody had put the right ball in, which they should have done, it could have been 4 or 5.
What about Stiepermann giving it that, by the way?
I mean, this is actually this is a fantastic lead into this question. Tristan Long asks, favourite Derby Day moment from Sunday. Emi Buendia pointing to Ellis Harrison, followed by pointing down at the floor. Stiepermann's shithouse masterclass, or the Farker wink. Now, there are a few lovely moments, Galton. What was your favourite?
Yeah, I think it's got to be the Farker wink. I mean, he's so cool. I watched him during all that fracas. He stood well away from it, watched it all implode in front of him and around him, and Ed Wootton, the goalkeeping coach, sort of jumping in there, going close to Paul Lambert and all that sort of thing. And Daniel Farke just standing back, watching it all happen.
Cool as a cucumber.
Yeah. And then that little wink, which Sky caught brilliantly.
Yeah, it was wonderful, wasn't it? Chris Domangala, who ended up getting sent off, he almost acts like Farke's bodyguard, doesn't he? That man is you would not want to pick a fight with him.
No. No, you wouldn't. And I thought, well, from what I saw, I thought he was quite unlucky. Or did he go up to...
I think they sent the wrong man off.
Did he go up
to... yeah. Well, they did send the wrong man off.
It should have been Ed Woodden, should it?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Chris, what was your favourite moment? We saw Steedman going up to the crowd. We saw Todd Cantwell giving it 3-0 to the away fans. I mean... I quite
actually... There's one on there.
Ben Godfrey?
Yeah, Ben Godfrey's woo. Yeah. That was nice. I'll tell you what, though. I'll change the question.
Okay.
Nothing will ever top this for me. The best one was... Lee Croft, screamer, absolute screamer, and bless his heart, Crofty, he wasn't the best, but
bless him.
But then
got his shirt just.
I thought you were all right, really.
But then he turns around and he gives it that to the Ipswich fans behind his back. That'll never be beaten.
Yeah, amazing. Next question from Hannah. She asked, just how far do we allow ourselves to dream? The club is showing the world it's unparalleled to any other. The class of our team, fan march with owners, crowdfunder. Yes. Are we ourselves yet to realise just how good a club this is and how blessed we are to be a part of it?
Wow, great question.
Yeah,
great question.
After that.
Well, yeah, it is. It's all coming together like a puzzle. It's a brilliant scenario potentially, but isn't football? It's all about potential, isn't it?
But in terms
we've got massive potential to do great things, and we've still got a little bit of potential.
In terms of off the pitch, though, Galton, I mean, we saw Delia on a fan podcast the other week.
Have you not got Delia up here at all?
No. Make it happen. Make it
happen. I'm not doing it.
What have you made of the fan initiatives with the flags? How good does that look from up in your fancy seats?
I mean, I actually took videos of it yesterday because it was so good. It was so impressive, and it stirs everybody up, and it's great. It's a great incentive to get the crowd going because you definitely need to. Especially in the games remaining, we need, and it shows those players come out very quickly now, and it showed yesterday. We were on fire yesterday for the first 10 minutes. We did the same against Derby. We came out really on fire, and Derby looked as though they were there for the taking.
Yeah.
Bloody floodlights.
Yeah, I know, bloody floodlights, because we wouldn't have lost that game had that not happened.
Surely you know some electricians who can sort it.
I still couldn't believe that. That's another one of those extraordinary things where you'll say, do you remember that game against Derby? When we were winning with 3 minutes to go or whatever.
The man to the left of you, Galton, said that the floodlights wasn't the problem for us losing it against Derby. Surely they were.
That was Christoph Zimmermann's one mistake this season. There's no excuse. You still cannot blame the floodlights turning off for Christoph Zimmermann not kicking it into Rosed.
Yeah, that's true, but
I know it stopped the game, Galton. I'm not arguing with you there, but come on.
It would never have happened if Frank Lampard pulled a rabbit out of them. I mean, he pulled the, we're off, we're coming off at this. Yeah, of course.
Andrew Howler asks, can Galton turn Paul Lambert's sour grapes into a nice tasty Waldorf salad?
Bless him. Poor old Paul Lambert. Bless him.
What would you cook him?
He's aged, actually, hasn't he? Don't you think he's aged? Didn't you think yesterday?
Yeah, I do, Galton.
I mean, he really is a silver fox, isn't he? If he really is. He wasn't as silver when he was at Norwich.
No, he wasn't.
Like it.
If after the game yesterday he rocked up at your gaff, what would you serve him to make him feel better?
I'd serve him a very nice... What would I serve him?
Would you put a few little surprises in there for him?
I tell you, I'd just try and cook him a very nice meal and just say, look, well, something easy to swallow. Maybe a soup. So it goes down very easily. He hasn't got to chew it, he's just got to swallow it.
I love that. And final question on Twitter. Maddie asks, and you have answered this, but maybe think of something different.
Go on.
What's your favourite piece of Norwich City memorabilia that you own?
Yeah, I saw that one come in earlier, and because I go back such a long time, so I went to the League Cup final against Tottenham when we lost to, was it Ralph Coates? Yeah, I think it was Ralph Coates. Then Villa, we lost in that one as well, Ray Graydon penalty. And then 85, the friendly final, I was there and I was in the bloody Sunderland end there. Don't ask me how I did that.
No, we will be asking.
Well, because I was working in the Lake District at the time, and the only way I could get tickets was a mate of mine who was a Sunderland supporter. So I was watching Norwich in the Sunderland end at Wembley. But to be fair, it was a brilliant, it was a crap game.
Yeah.
But it was just such a good atmosphere because Sunderland were really, really great supporters. Really great supporters.
So did you celebrate the goal?
Yeah, to a certain degree. Went just like that.
I love that.
So there's been a few bits of memorabilia. My first ever Norwich shirt, which was one of those original. I know they've got replicas of it, you know, with the big badge of the canary and the round.
Wow.
Well, I've got an original of those. I suppose that's as good as anything as well. You know,
have you got any signed shirts?
Yeah, I've got signed shirts.
What's your favourite signed shirt that you've ever been given?
Right. I suppose I've got signed shirts from, well, Nigel Wevington's winning squad.
I thought you were about to say his toilet cleaner then.
2004, 2005, whatever it was. I think it was then.
Yeah.
So I suppose that one is as good as anything.
Is this team as good as that team that went up under Worthy? I know Worthy's your mate, but...
Yes. I would say, yeah, of course it is. Of course it is, because it's more of a team. That one in 2000 was all about Huckabee, who was fantastic, don't get me wrong. One of the best players I've ever seen at Norwich. He's in my top 5 of all-time great players at Norwich.
Who's your greatest?
Well, it's either Sutton or Bellamy for me, because I remember Craig Bellamy getting in the team.
Yeah.
He was something else.
Was there when Bellamy broke into the team? It was sort of before my supporting days. Was there as much excitement around Max Aarons and Jamal Lewis as there was Craig Bellamy?
Probably not.
Right.
No, probably not. But I love Bellamy. Really, really fantastic player, and so was Sutton. And I'd even put Maddison in that top 5 now as well, because we only saw him for a season, but you could tell he was that good, couldn't you?
We could.
And who else would I? Probably somebody like Steve Bruce or Dave Watson back in the 80s time. Amazing. Bruce was such a strong defender.
He was on the flag, wasn't he?
He was indeed. We've got a big week coming up. It's Preston and then it's Bolton. Alex Neil, we return there Wednesday night, Galton. That is not an easy game, is it?
No, it's not. That's one of them which worries me, actually. Because, again, he's another ex-Norwich manager who'll have them absolutely pumped up. And they will come out firing. Hopefully, we have a strong referee. That's my big worry at the moment, having strong referees who will take control of this game. And once we see Buenda get kicked up in the air, he'll take control of it. He won't let it happen time after time. I got to the stage watching it yesterday where I thought the referee kept thinking that Stiepermann was just diving all the time. Why wasn't he just giving us free kicks? Because he was being fouled all over the place.
But then surely he should be booked for diving then.
Well, that's right. And he was letting it go on all the time. And I just think the referee's got to be really strong because we're a footballing team, a really good footballing team.
What do you think about the referees in this league, the quality, Galton?
Some and some. Some of them are, referees are referees, aren't they, really? There are one or two who are quite good. I can't remember offhand who I think has refereed quite well at Norwich.
Like you say, though, the likes of Emi Buendia, the likes of Max Aarons, who have such raw pace and skill, they almost need more protection. We saw it with James Maddison last season. I think he was the most foul player last year. When you're that quick and your feet are that quick, you're going to get fouled, aren't you? And then players need protection because they're a joy to watch.
Yeah, and I think that's my worry on Wednesday is that Alex Neil will have Preston that fired up. They're a big. I mean, they were terrible at Norwich. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, but if we can are allowed to play our football, then we should be able to get a very good result there.
I mean, Chris, this isn't an easy trip, as I said. They've got a lot of good players in that team. They're 5 unbeaten. They're coming off the back of a win against
What good players have they got in that team, Jack?
Callum Robertson, Tom Barkhausen, Alan Brown, Daniel Johnson. I mean, what I'm saying here, Chris, this is a season championship team, and Alex Neil will get them up for it. He's a good manager.
Yeah.
I hope you're not underestimating them.
No. I just admiring how you're complimenting our opposition, over complimenting them again, just like Guardiola at Rotherham and how he's going to take us into Europe. Rotherham.
Yeah.
I'm not. Look, Alex Neil again. I think that he was a decent.
He was very complimentary about Norwich in his press conference.
Yeah, he did. He fixed things, and I'm not going to be disrespectful to Alex Neil. Preston are a team, and I think that they have the opportunity to try and bully us. It won't work. It won't work. You can't. Emi Buendia is too good.
Yeah.
He's just too good.
Yeah.
If you go and kick us early, the ref will call it.
Yeah.
The ref will call it.
Yeah,
100%.
that's what I'd hope. I'd hope the referee is going to be strong. Yeah, and as you say, they won't stay with us if we are allowed to play football.
It's then Bolton on Saturday. I certainly won't be over egging them. They have been woeful this season, and it shows that
Doesn't your mate
Ipswich.
play for Bolton?
He does, yeah, and they've.
Who's your they're a quality side?
Mr. Remy Matthews.
You said they're a quality side, Jack.
Well, they haven't been conceding as many goals since Remy's gone in goal, and that's certainly no coincidence. But Galton, we have to beat them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty confident on Saturday's game. Bolton away, yeah.
After these two games, Chris, it will leave 13 left for the season. Where do you want us to be come this time next week? Still top?
Yeah, top. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any changes for the week for the midweek game?
Player-wise? Well, unless they're enforced, no. For me to keep, much the same. I was a little surprised we didn't make changes. Well, what for Preston?
Well, they're just knackered, Galton. You're worried about them?
Well, I can only have confidence in Daniel Farke.
Absolutely.
In the fact that otherwise he'd have bought them off earlier than with sort of 10 minutes to go or whatever. So I would imagine it would be much the same team, with the exception of Vrancic.
Yep.
I would think.
Hopefully. I think that's all we need to say this week. Galton, what an absolute pleasure. We're now off to drink this bottle.
Yeah, you are.
Man.
We're having that at the end of the season. You have to invite us
Where
back.
do we have to keep this in a safe or something?
Of course you put it in the fridge. Keep it in the fridge. Don't open it. Don't be tempted.
It's very nice. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Head over to Morston Hall if you want some good grub, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.